Interesting. Totally interesting. Okay. I think I'll make me bigger for right now. This is completely me just learning how to use this thing. Is it working? I don't know. Okay, that sort of seems like it's working. What is my link? One wonders. It's hard to say what my link is, because I need to kind of post it, but I don't know what I'm doing. So usually it's relatively straightforward. You know, YouTube wants you to do these things, so they make it relatively easy. But this is complicated by the fact that my connection is crazy slow. Not necessarily sure it meets the kind of minimum standards for live streaming. So we'll see what happens. Right now it's streaming and it's trying to access YouTube simultaneously. Okay. Let's see, your channel and live. So, can I just copy the link? I did try to start this early, so if you're watching this not when it's live, feel free to fast forward until we actually get into it, because I do not know what I am doing. We're learning. This is all just a good learning thing. Okay. Seems like that's happening. In which case, I'm going to create a live stream on the Patreon. I mean, I could screencast this, but it's not doing anything for you. No way of knowing if the audio is working. Let's see. Okay, another second, and this should be posted, and then we can... I was going to say get back to the things I know how to do, but that feels not like a thing that I'm actually doing. You would think that I would know how to plot things, but I'm not sure that's accurate. What the fuck? Okay. Patreon just made this a scheduled post, and I didn't catch it until I had already hit OK. Scheduled for November 7th, which I feel like is not accurate. Right. Well, hopefully no one's here. Oh, that's me. Okay. I don't want it scheduled. I really want it just to post. Yeah, I don't want it scheduled. I want it to post, you bastard. It just scolded me for not selecting a time in the future. Okay, now I'm going to kill all the tabs that I do not need. Right? Deep breaths. Share public post. Go away. Do I need that up at the same time? I shouldn't. So let me know if that kills everything. No idea how to actually do this, so I'm just going to kind of make it up. Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. So, welcome to the video. Welcome to the live stream. If you're here in person, I do not know how to tell because this isn't a different thing. The microphone appears to be picking up. So hopefully that's true. Right. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for it. And if it's all a big failure, okay, that's okay. We're just going to be okay with that. But the important thing that I need to be doing is plotting this goddamn book. So essentially what happened was I did a little bit of plotting last week. It was later than I wanted it to be, but you know, these things happen. Got some other stuff going on, got some other stuff off my desk, so that was all good. So I wasn't worried about it. So I sat down on Saturday, which was the 4th-ish, and started writing this book. And I didn't feel bad about it. I felt the way that I often feel writing at the beginning of a book, which is essentially, you know, most of this is going to get deleted. There are books that I start and I have like a very clear picture. The one that always comes to mind for me, other than there's an image from Catalyst that really was clear, but it wasn't the first one. The first scene image that comes to mind for me is Gaze of Our Lives with Emerson at Club Fred. So that was a moment that I knew was going to start the book off, like, and it got me directly into it, and I knew exactly where I was going from there, which is always really nice when that happens. It isn't, in my experience, super common. Often I don't know the first scene of the book until the middle of the book, or edits. But it is always nice when that happens. So I would like a better idea of a strong opening for this. And if I can't come up with that, I am perfectly willing to come up with a strong scene and write that to start my brain off. I don't write out of order. Like, I almost never write out of order, but there definitely have been times where in order to get inside a character's head, I write a scene that's really emotionally charged or really action based. And that is the way that I kind of figure out who that person is in that moment, which is important. So, cats. So, yeah, I think that I'm going to try to share my screen a little. I think, so it's hard about sharing my screen now that I've killed that YouTube thing. Is that, how will I know if I'm doing it? Oh, shit. Okay, maybe I should not have killed the YouTube thing. Because, yeah, how am I going to know if I'm sharing my screen if nobody's here to tell me? Okay, clearly I needed to, like, con someone into watching this live so that I could test it out. But I neglected to do that. Like, okay, so that seems to be working. So I'm not going to worry about this. Okay. So we're going to start in Obsidian, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and fire up a new document. Gotta get my timer. Fire up a new document, which I should give a name to, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to say live ripper can't nano. And I don't think I need much of anything on here. I mean, I'll put the date because why not? Ultimately, I don't really need any of these things here. Okay. Also, why did that pull up a Sunday first calendar? Very bizarre. So the first thing that I want to do is brainstorm some starting points because I definitely don't know what that is yet, and that's failing me slightly. Setting a 5-minute timer. Let's just see if anything actually happens. Yo, where else does this start? Okay. What did we learn? What did we learn? Did we learn anything? Wow, that thing where you switch back and there's just a lot of my faces is not ideal. So clearly this would be a good thing to do when I'm not streaming, so I can edit all that out. Okay. Yes, oh good. Oh, I'm so glad it worked. Thank you. Oh, I don't know how to do anything. Heart? Okay, well I tried to heart it, but it shot me to a Google login page, so I'm not going to worry about that. All right, so I still don't have a good place to start. I think that I may have to just get into the haunting and trust that I can fix the beginning later, because honestly, that's the only kind of way I can see to get out of being so bogged down by the beginning of this. So I think maybe the move is to come up with some scene things. Where's my... Oh, here. Nope. Okay, I'm going to do this again. Watch out. There's got to be. I mean, don't you think there's got to be a better way? Somewhere in here I have my wonderful, wonderful... Well, that's not what I want. Thing that I, yes, totally and completely protected because I didn't want to fuck it up. Okay, so wants but therefore, which means these are just like essentially cribbed Deborah Chester things that I have stolen. Well, that's not how that should have come. It makes sense, I guess, because it was out of a spreadsheet. Can I do that? Yep. Okay. So basically, this is how I do this. I don't remember how she does it in the book. The book is Deborah Chester's fantasy fiction formula. Absolutely loved it. Ezra wants something, but something, therefore something, which means something. Ezra wants to find a place where he belongs, but what he finds instead is a haunted speakeasy where Matilda doesn't believe the same things. I'm completely making this up just to get some words down on the page for what the fuck I'm doing for this plot. So I do think that we're going to have a turn in the middle of this book where they find a person who is responsible for some of the things that have been happening. I don't think I want to write that yet. I think that I'm going to wait on that. Although every now and then writing like the dead center of the book is really helpful. I did that, I think, in Going Home. The very middle of that book was my way into it. but I like taking the angle that some local like landowner dude wants to marry Matilda and maybe take over the hotel or something, like the, oh, I can make it so much easier on your grandmother because she's all alone, like I'll marry you, we'll take over, we'll run the place. And Matilda like is so not interested. But that sounds like kind of a fun way to have an antagonist we can nail down and defeat at the midpoint of the book and feel like, yay, we've defeated the bad guy. And then we haven't, because there's actually a haunting, is kind of how I feel like this should go. So right. Okay, we're just going to list some scenes. This is genuinely how I plot things. It is not organized. It's really just like, what can I get out of my head onto the page that will maybe help me clarify what the hell I'm supposed to write. Scenes we know have to happen. Matt picks Ezra up at the train station. I really need more concrete spooky things, because right now it's just a lot of my brain going like, spooky thing here. Ezra is... I'm going to have him work at the speakeasy. I think I want him to... There's a bit of a lag because I'm asking my poor computer to do so much. That was me starting to write corridor and then remembering that I don't know how to spell corridor. Like, it's a fucked up word, right? Corridor? Is that just me? I also kind of want like a history of some sort for the hotel that will make some of this feel more resonant. Maybe we can pull in the 1906 earthquake. That'll be a little less than 20 years before. And a lot of people did leave San Francisco temporarily or permanently after that. And there were also people who, of course, were just in the city for whatever reason, circumstances, who then were really impacted by the earthquake. So I feel like some of that can be useful. Y'all, how am I blanking on like what things can be done for this? Here, when I go. It's annoying to me that this is not logged in. Do I remember my email address? Because seeing the chat is kind of important, but it's not showing me the chat. What is happening, y'all? What is this doing? What is happening? Close. Okay. Okay. Everything's fine. So we're going to do another 5 minutes. There's got to be a better way of doing this, right? Okay. Not worrying about that right now. More scenes. 5 minutes. What other fun local people do we want to have? Locals. Literally can't think of any jobs. I love the idea of playing with spiritualism. Spiritualism fascinates the shit out of me, and it was huge after World War One. Spiritualism, of course, being literally just like these two kids in upstate New York making some shit up and then it taking off the way things do at the right moment in time. And then it went through a big kind of rejuvenation after World War One. Because, for obvious reasons, because all of these people died and people wanted to be able to contact their dead. So I do like the idea that plays a role here. I'm going to add Mrs. Winchester to my history list because she is fascinating and also, I think, of a similar time. Okay. That's the most exciting thing to me. So I think that what I might do is start there. So what is my Chester thing for that? Ezra. It's real weird typing and not seeing the letters until a delay because I make a lot of mistakes, but usually I'm watching them happen as they happen and I can delete them really easily. Right now I'm getting my fingers are getting tripped up. All right. Did I miss the E? Yes, I did. Just missing a lot of E's. I've also retrained myself to hit the space bar with my left thumb. Who knew that was a thing? Nope. Everybody needs a name. Fucking hate names, y'all. Hate names. Names. So Matilda Suitor needs a name. Grandma needs a name. The psychic needs a name. Absent bartender needs a name. Lots of other people need names. The sequel to this scene is a feeling beat where I think he's gonna kind of feel ashamed how deeply he wants to Okay. What is even happening? That's a really good point. Okay. Where am I? To bring in some religion versus spiritualism. And it's a small town, so I feel like we could have a pretty significant church presence of some sort if I make that up, which could be super fun. Okay. I think I'm going to call it there, mostly because I just really want to write the scene now. I have no idea how long this has gone on because I don't know how to tell. I'm sure it's here somewhere. 40 minutes. That feels solid. So, to the feline in the comments, because I can't figure out how to pronounce the first part of that. Thank you so much for coming again. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate your religion, spiritualism conflict there, because I think that would be a really fun thread to exploit. And also give my main characters more to fight about. For fun. Because we like that. And yeah, so thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, anyone who watches in the future. If you are also a big old nerd about this stuff, I hope this was fun for you. I really can't tell. I would think it was fun to watch, but also I acknowledge it's probably maybe not that fun. I don't know. But yeah, this is... Oh, canine. That's obvious. Yeah, canine feline. Completely obvious now that I've seen it. Yes. So yeah. Okay. What do we think about this, y'all? Do we think it worked? Should I try to figure it out more? It was interesting. I will say that. Very, very interesting. Okay. I'm going to figure out how to stop it now and see what happens with that. So yes, thank you, Canine Feline, and thanks to everybody who watches in the future. Let's see if I can figure out how to make it